Alright guys, this is Mike with Pacific Tech, and this is filters. You guys see three different types of filter here. One is an oil, one is a cabin air, and one is an air filter. Okay, so we're going to start with the cabin air filter. And it's important that you change these out every year, or at least depending on where you're at, your season, because that's aspergillus mold and different type of molds inside of there. And that is one of the leading causes of having respiratory problems. You see how clear that is, and it's seeping through at the edges, and you can see where it's collecting mold, where the glue and the element meets. But you have to change these out, like I said, depending on where you're at. I'm in California, so in California I do these every year, and there's a lot of shops that they want to upsell these, and again, $30, $40 for one of these, and it takes 2 seconds to remove this. So on this particular one, because of this model number, you guys know that this came from a Accord 98 to 2002. So that is the filter for that, the cabin air filter. And it's garbage, junk, so we throw it out. The next one, you guys know that this is your oil filter, and I got it here dropping, whatever fluid that's still left, and you can see it's still dripping. But these filters, they make them in 4 different settings. So the cheapest, the extended life, the extra life, the long life. These filters, you have oil. Let's go to the oil section. You will have different type of grade of oil. You have the 520, the 530, synthetic, regular, and synthetic. And the synthetic ones, you guys see a lot of these synthetic oils. And these synthetic oils will say 100,000, 50,000 miles. And yeah, these oils can go that long sometimes, but this is your problem right here. How can you clean your oil out when this is already clogged up and it's not working and it's bypassing? Because maximum life on any oil filter, and I don't care who the brand, who the maker is or anything, 5,000 miles max, and you're pushing it at 5,000. Okay, as a technician, I'm always going through, and doing oil services and all of this, and I see my customers when we go in, and customers will complain, hey man, my oil's dirty, my car's a little sluggish here and there, and as soon as we change the oil, car is back breathing again. The oil is the blood in your vehicle's engine, and if that is not clean, you don't do the proper services, you're going to pay for it later. Head gaskets, valves, you name it, it's going to cause problems. So you want to do your oil change at every 4. 5, you're pushing it. And I don't care if you're driving a BMW or a fucking Yugo. Excuse the French. But you want to make sure that you change those filters out. This is an air filter. Now, I don't know why people would throw this out. I don't know if you guys can see that stamping right there. And you guys, whoever knows, you already know what type of filter this is. So this is a reusable filter, for those who don't know. And you probably paid about $100 or about $120 for this filter. And you just threw it away for a paper element filter. And that filter is about, let's say $10 or $20 max. And you just threw $100 away into the garbage for a $20 filter because you don't want to clean it. You don't want to put the oil inside of it. Only reason why I'm doing this is because I just found this in the garbage can, and I'm trying to figure out. It's a K&N filter. It's stamped. You guys can see the stamping. I got it upside down, but let me put it down the right way. It says K&N. Wash it, let it dry, wet it, or oil it, and put it back in. That's what these filters cost so much for. So the customer who just did this, I have no idea who did it. But that's a $100 filter in the garbage can and was replaced by a paper element that will have to be changed out every time you do your oil change. Automatic. As soon as you do your oil change, you better change out your air filter. Some people go, nah, but mine, no. Do it. Your car will love you. You'll get better response, better fuel mileage, because remember, the engine, it's not a gasoline engine. It's an air pump engine, fueled or powered by gasoline. You got to start knowing the difference, what it is. These engines are nothing but air pumps, fuels. Matter of fact, so I got my compressor here. We can go and that's the engine, and it's fueled by electricity, which is the generator that turns and spins the engine around. Well, the same thing happens with the engine, with the fuel goes in, bursts, and pushes that piston down. And 4 cylinders working like that. So the better these things can breathe, the better fuel mileage you have, the better your car responds, and you'll notice the difference. Paper versus reusable. Leave your comments down below which one you'll use. And why would you throw a K&N filter away? That's one, and first of all, why would you throw something away? Unless this thing is actually broken, and I see no damage in it, and literally no damage whatsoever. None. Besides it being dirty and has to be cleaned. That's it. And re-oiled. And you can put it back in the vehicle and off you go. So pay attention to what you're purchasing. Pay attention to what they're selling you. Pay attention to a lot of things, because that's $100 that you paid, or $100 plus that you paid for that filter, and you just threw it away for a paper element. Because that right there. All right, so I'm back. I had to take a quick stop to answer the phone. But remember, filter, these type of design, wash them, put them back in. If you paid more than $50 for your filter, rewash it and reuse it. You have to stay up on that, because there will be shops that will rip you off, and I'm kind of upset at one of my texts for this, unless the owner of the vehicle said change it, swap it out, because he doesn't want to deal with washing it, waiting, and greasing it, and then putting it back in. But then the downside of these type of filters, and I'm going to say it, and I know I'm pretty sure this manufacturer will say no, or other manufacturers similar to it, like Spectre and these aftermarket ones that you buy on eBay. They're going to say no, it works, it breathes better. Do not use cold air intake. It will rob you, and you'll spend money on your vehicle. Cold air intakes are designed for racing application only. Now, can you guys repeat that? Racing application only. That means that you're using the car for racing, not for everyday use. So remember that one. Racing applications. This is stock, but you only use these for a racing application unless you want bigger air to be rammed into your vehicle. But the drawback of these type of filters is that oil that you use, well, I'm gonna use this like this. This has been sitting for about 2 days now, and you guys can see that oil residue still flowing. So when you spray this, suction, creating vacuum on this back end, and this is the side that's collecting all the dirt. Well, if you spray this, that oil will come up through here and go up through your sensors, intake, and everything, and will destroy sensors and all of that. And that's why sometimes you see people with these type of filters having sensor problems, especially with the mass airflow sensor or the throttle positioning sensor, because that oil gets clogged up inside these sensors and they damage them. So that's the downside of this. So this is why we say racing application only. As a technician, I mean, I don't know, I can stress this all day and it will go in through one ear and come out the other, because there's some singer, some actor, or some entertainer that's telling you that these will give you 50 horsepower and guaranteed to give you 50 horsepower. Oh, really? Put a cold air intake in your vehicle and watch your horsepower take a dive. You lose bottom end power, you lose mid end power. I mean, you'll probably gain in top end power, but you still need mid and low end power to push you off to begin with before you get to the high end power. And the high end power is fifth gear, and you didn't really have that much power into it. These things will hurt you. So, cold air intakes, don't put them in. I'm in California, so cold air intake will not work. And I'm going to pause this and we're going to go. All right, so I'm walking towards one of the cars so that you guys can understand what I mean by cold air intake. This is my workhorse, and you guys already see the beast that I have in, which is a fall banger, and I got a cold air intake. The reason why I say don't use this and why I'm using this, look at the setup right here. Heat from the engine, heat from the transmission gets sucked up right in and gets pulled in. And half the other piece that goes down here, but as you guys can see, I got no bottom, so I'm sucking up too much debris up into the filter. And I got to be swapping out my filter every week, so I put it up there so that I can get, a little bit more, but I'm losing a little bit less horsepower and I'm consuming more fuel. So that is the drawback of that cold air intake. Just in case any manufacturer want to be, talking crap. No, my shit is guaranteed to boost you. Come to California. We'll hook it up to the dyno machine. Temperatures here are from 80 to about 120 degrees on a summer day. So you want to put yourself to a challenge? I challenge and I welcome any of these cold air intake manufacturers out here. Unless that cold air intake is not down in between the fender where it's cooler, but because you guys can see, mine's is open, so mine will not be cooler. Actually, I'll be sucking in a lot of hot air, and that's the drawback of those cold air intakes. All right. Car came with I think it was like 198 horsepower, and cold air intake took 8 horsepower away from me at the low ends, which is first, second, third, and fourth, fifth. I got the top end power. So that's where the drawback is. Yeah, you're making a lot of noise. It does, and that's all you're hearing out of these cars. And the more you hear that shit struggling, it's because the hot air. And if you guys do not want to believe me, you guys see that I got this shit wrapped. And I got the aluminum wrapped. And you guys know what happens when heat touches aluminum. It absorbs it, right? So if it's absorbing the heat, the air that's going through is cooling the heat down, but it's actually transferring that heat from that aluminum into that air, and it's being sucked in. Drawback, okay? Engineering. That's the engineering drawback on that. So that's why I wrapped mine like that, and I fully wanted to wrap it, but I wanted to display my Edelbrock, which sooner or later I'm going to wrap it up because I really don't care. Nobody lifts the hood up anyway, unless it's Sacramento sheriffs and Sacramento PD who's, want to do my oil change, change my belts, do preventative services on this vehicle. It's the only time, the hood gets raised. And yeah, I'm sorry for Sacramento PD and Sacramento sheriffs for bugging you, and more Sacramento PD than the sheriffs, because Sacramento PD has done my 100K service on it the last time when the pandemic started. I got full tire rotations, alignment. They did everything for me. Yeah, and I'm joking on that part, but I'm being for real. You ever seen Sacramento PD out here? And for those who live out in Sacramento, we'll be able to speak about it. When you get pulled over, some of them love to raise your hood and look inside your gem to see what you're rocking. And some of these guys will come back and steal your car, especially those with the Scat Pack on there. But anyway, it's a different make and model, and that's what's going on right now in California. If you own one of these Challengers, they're taking them for the engine and body parts because they're smacking them everywhere because they don't know how to drive them. But again, filters. Filters got to be changed out, and they're the reasons why your vehicle struggles, why your vehicle gets sluggish. Those are the main reasons why everything happens. So remember, protect yourself, protect your investment, because your engine is an investment. These cars cost anywhere from 20 to about 60,000. So why hurt yourself? Just remember, everything is manufactured by us engineers. And we engineers, well, the smart ones know how to do things. The retarded ones, well, you already know. They things are built in different sections. Well, I guess the way they're doing it now is this one builds the engine, this one builds the transmission, this one builds the body, and this one puts it all together. And then this one is in charge of quality service. This one is in charge of sales, maintenance, and then you have all of us behind. Each tech represents a technician that builds your vehicle, and none of them talk to each other because it's split in different departments now. This engineer will not know what this technician is going through. And we see that many technicians today, it doesn't matter which make and models they're working on, every technician has a complaint about us engineers building things. And they don't understand why we did it that way, but at the end of the day is we had no other choice but to make it that way. But anyway, filters, change them out. Make sure that you're putting in the proper filters. Make sure you're doing routine maintenance, because you don't do those routine maintenance, you burn that engine out. And then you end up having oil consumptions like the way these new Hondas and Toyotas and Nissans are doing. Honda just fixed their piston rings, the oil rings at the bottom, because the compression ring is actually holding compression, but the oil rings are letting too much blow-by go by. And when you have blow-by going by, it pushes oil up and you're burning your oil. And this is why most people got to put about a quart of oil every month into their car. And if you're putting more than that, you have a lot of wear in that engine. So pay attention to filters, pay attention to your services. You really have to pay attention to this because you eat every single day. You want to put, good products in your belly. So same thing with your vehicle. You want to have good products. You want to put, good things inside of it. The oil is the blood inside your body that's flowing and keeping everything flowing. So remember that. You have engine and transmission. People do the engine oil, but will not service the transmission into that transmission is slipping. There's a routine maintenance on it. I recommend everybody to do it between 30 and 50,000 miles. I don't care who's the manufacturer. I don't care who is the engineer behind it and how they designed it. Oil has a breaking period. And once it breaks down, it begins to destroy everything else behind it. So remember, I'm in California. Each area has different climate zones, so you have to adjust to your climate. All right. I'm here in the heat most of the year, so most of the year I have to tune my car for the heat and not for the winter, not for cold climates or cooler climates. My car has to be prepared for the heat, so that way my car doesn't overheat and I'm not having breakdown issues. So tune your car according to your region, because if you look up your manual, there's regions, there's temperature settings for your car and how and what type of oil to use within those climate areas. So that way you don't burn that motor out. You don't hurt your vehicle or your investment. You choose what a car costs today. Even if it's used $4,000, even if you paid $500 or $1, that's still an investment that you're putting out. So pay attention to what you're doing and how you're doing things. Anyway, this is Mike with Pacific Tech. Any questions, comments, leave them down below. I don't do no editing or anything, so you guys already know. I try to do things raw so that I can teach my people. And if people do not want to learn, that's a choice you're making, because the professionals are out here teaching you guys how to do things. So it's up to you. You want to learn by a professional, or you want to learn by someone who has done this through trials and errors. That's your choice. But this is an engineer, a technician, and trial by fire speaking at the same time. So I can only give you an advice, and it's up to you whether you want to heed those advice or take those advices and take care of your investments. That's all I'm talking about, your investment. Make sure you take care of your investment before your investment takes more money out of your pockets. Anyway, it's Mike with Pacific Tech. Enjoy your day. Stay safe and be cordial to each other and humble to each other. We can't be, ignorant. We're trying to help our people. That's the only thing I can say is trying to help our people. And if others, that are watching, take heed to this, leave a thumbs up. People are going to have to understand filter elements and their lifespans. It's the only way I can tell people, the next video that I'm going to make is I'm going to grab oil filters from vehicles that gone way over their mileage, and I'm going to crack them open so that you can take a look at what's inside these filters. So that way you can make your own determination. Am I going to ride my car because the oil said, 10,000 miles before the next oil service, and my filter can only go up to 5, and you're putting an extra 5 into it, so it ain't doing nothing but, recirculating that garbage all around your engine. So those are the things you have to, pay attention to. For the men's, you should already know this because we are car gurus, or we try to be car gurus. For the females, they're the ones that got stamped sucker on their forehead, and as soon as a female walks in, every shop is trying to take advantage of them because they have no concept of, the cost. They don't have a concept of the price. And for those ladies who do have a concept of what's going on, that's basically 1% out of your whole entire population here inside the United States that have an understanding of motor vehicle and what they're spending on their motor vehicle, so that a technician or a shop doesn't rob them in upselling things that they really don't need. So pay attention to that, because right now, one of my customers have a front end noise, and I told her exactly what was wrong with it. She took it to the dealer where she brought the car because she has warranty and all of that through there, and the dealer told her she has a blown head gasket. So she came in with a noise for the wheels and ended up with a blown head gasket. They couldn't find any noise problems in the front, but she has a blown head gasket. So be careful with their markups, because a lot of shops right now, they are hurting. And I mean truly hurting. And right now, they got rent to pay. They got light to pay. They got internets to pay. They got insurance, licensing. You got all of this overhead that you have to pay first. On top of that, you got payroll insurance before you even start making a dollar. So pay attention to um, your services, what you're paying for your services, what's the quality of oil that's being put in there, because there are shops up there that will tell you, man, we only use Mobile One, and you see all these banners up on top, Mobile One, Castro oil only, and for any shop to survive, and just so that I can point something out to you. Let's see, do I have it up here? Yes, I do. So, $28 for 5 quarts, 0.20, or you're going to pay $7.29 per quart. Or if you want to get the big bars that will help you service, this is $134. So when people get mad of your oil change services and what we're charging, well, take a look at that price right here. It's not $20 no more. $20 is just the labor services that we provide to change the oil. That's what we make is $20 off of it. But this is the price. Now, some of you guys are paying $90, $100 for your oil service at these dealers, and they're putting in the cheapest thing because I can't. Let's see. If I go Valvoline, you see that number jump. All right, and that's Valvoline. Look at how much per quart. All right, this is Mobile One per quart. Look at that. Full synthetic. There's a lot of people that be crying about they want this type of oil right here, but they don't want to pay this type of price. And look how much. So pay attention. Look, Pennzoil, $10. I'm doing this. This is the price that you guys going into the store pays for. Look, $36. Here, look, Castro, $12 a quart. Damn near a dollar more, and it's $40. So that is the difference between the oil and the pricing. And what's in there is just the additives that you're paying that pricing for. Oil is oil. Don't matter is regular, synthetic blends, or full synthetic. And a lot of these cars, please make sure that you're not putting in full synthetic in a vehicle that is older than I am, and you're using full synthetic because some shop or some singer or actor, entertainer told you you can use this type of oil. And you guys know about the myth back in the old cars where these oils, they say, well, you use full synthetic, it starts leaking everywhere. And that's because your gaskets are worn out. Front gaskets, front seals, pan gaskets, head gasket, all of this, because of that oil, is almost like water. So pay attention to these prices and what you're using because look, $30 for the cheapest thing. And this is what most shops are going to go. And I don't care who you are, whether you're Honda, whether you're Toyota, they're going to go for the cheapest price, even though the banner in the front says they're rocking Castro oil. They look for the cheapest oil because just like anybody, if you want to purchase something, you're not going to pay full retail price. You want to pay cost price, and you're going to buy it at the cheapest price you can and sell it at the markup price that you can. Notice the difference of that. So, filters. We have, let's see, since we were talking about filters, not oil, let's go with, actually, let's look up the oil filters. So you guys can get a better understanding. Here we got an STP, $10. Same STP number and everything. The only difference it says is extended life, crack this one open, and crack this one open, and they are the same. Nothing different besides the wording and the coloring. That's it. So would you rather spend $6.49 or would you rather spend $9.99 because someone put extended life oil and changed the color on it? But everything else has the same function, same material, same gasket, same spring set, same everything. The only difference is the wording. That's it. The wording. Here we go. I don't use this type of oil filters because it's, again, the cheapest crap that you can find on the market, and you see what they're selling it for now, $10. When this brand right here is $3.10 for this oil filter. And this is pre-pandemic prices, and this is post-pandemic price right here. All right, post recession. Here we go. Same Fram filter, $15.99. Here we go. Fram's Tough Guard, $11.99. Here we got a Mobile One filter, $15.99, and this one is just the same as that right there. And then here we got an AC Delco, and their price is still, a little bit up there. And here we got the original equipment, $13.99 from Honda. And this Honda filter is the same as this one right here for $10.99, which should be, at the low end price. But if you guys still don't want to believe me, here we go. Here, look. Here's a K&N filter. $20 for a filter that is just the same as that filter right there. The original filter, $13.99. Here we got a AEF power oil filter, $14.99. These are performance filters now. So I'm gonna put this up there so you guys can go to the AutoZone website and read. But these are the different filters, and we're gonna crack each of these filters open. And you guys will be able to see the difference between this one and this one, which is STP brands. You'll be able to see the difference between STP and Fram and its line of Fram filters, the difference between the mobile, the AC Delco, the original, the racing application filters. You'll be able to see the difference. And it's not much, and I'm talking about variance. So small, and I'm meaning like that, where my two fingernails are. That's how small of a difference they are. And it doesn't extend your life like most of these, like this filter says, extended life oil filter. No, it doesn't. 5,000 miles max. Here's a Mobile One. Let's go to the Mobile One filter. 5,000 miles max. This is an OEM filter, a regular oil filter. No extended life, no silver, no gold package, none of this, hookah drama crap that they put so they can upsell things. It's a regular OEM filter. I can use regular oil, synthetic blend, or full synthetic in this filter right here. And that's what I'm paying the price for. And you can use the same thing. But they're going to tell you, no. This one is for regular oil. This one's for synthetic oil, and this one is for synthetic blends. And they use this color thing to blind you and sucker you guys in. And I'm sorry if I'm using that word like that, but that's the way they are. You see, here's a black, here's a blue. Extended life, regular. Two versions. This one got three versions. This one got only one version. This one got only one version. This one only got one version. This one got one. So there's this one. But these two right here are for racing applications only. This one is the regular stock. So what are the difference between these filters? Manufacturers are going to, STP is going to say they're better than Fram because they made theirs, this way. But cut one open, cut it open. Take a look at the guts inside, and you see the difference. Count the circle paper element, count each ribs and everything. You'll see that this one is the same as this one. For each rib, the same glue that they use on that paper element to fuse it with the rubber. The rubber is the same. The spring set is the same type of aluminum. There's nothing different from these filters. Nothing. Absolutely nothing where I can say, well, Mobile One, I'd rather spend $15.99 because Mobile One has a better design. No. Same design, same elements, same glue, same everything is used in the same thing all the way around. So that's the filter part. Anyway, guys have questions, comments down below. I'll be able to inform some people a little bit better or make people understand a little bit better. Any engineers or any senior techs out there that, want to dispute or challenge what I just said, comment down below. Meaning, we're in the same, industry, so it doesn't make one better than the other. Especially when it comes to filters, oil, air, cabin, transmission. These are the 4 filters. Actually, there's 5. Fuel. 5 filters that your car carries. My Honda carries oil, transmission, and I had to put an extra or an external transmission filter just to make sure that my transmission is clean as hell, because the filter is inside my transmission and I can't service it without pulling my transmission out and cracking it open to filter it. So these are the things that you have to be aware of when you're purchasing a vehicle, and what your maintenance bill is going to be like when your vehicle gets up in miles. What you have to do is first, let's say PM30, your 30,000 mile service, or your PM50. Every 50,000 miles you do this type of service to make sure that your vehicle is in perfect operating order. I challenge anyone, and foreigners, you guys are going to say, no, 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 this is how we do it. And I want you guys to tell and inform not only me, but others, what's your take on it? What type of brand you use and why you use that brand over STP, and why you use that brand over Mobile One or Valvoline, Royal Purple, Molly. There are people that swear up and down, and I'm going to use this as an example, by Tums, and yet Tums, is something generic. You have new products coming out telling you, they're better, they're good, and such, but then they find out that they're not the same. So pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. That's all I can say to you guys, is just pay attention. Filters have to be changed clockwork. You don't change these filter out. Think of paper, and it's getting wet, and wet till it starts disintegrating. Once it disintegrates, it creates a hole, and that material starts going all over the place. What do you think happens to these engines when that oil filter disintegrates inside that filter housing? It starts flowing through the engine, and it starts causing problems. You have heat spots in one area, cool spots in others. Um, I've seen where one of these FRAM filters literally disintegrated inside, and as we're doing oil change, the filter element pieces are mixed in with the oil. Um, those are the things that you have to be aware of. And I'm pretty sure there are some technicians out there that ran into the same problems I'm running into when customers do not change their oil regularly. And you tell your customers exactly what's going on, but there are some customers, because they've been ripped off by other shops, and they're just trying to find the cheapest place where they can go get their oil service or get any type of service, and they think that right away you're trying to upsell everything. I like to be honest. I'm not in the game of upselling, even though they want me to upsell things. But I'd rather be honest to my customers and have my customers return back. Like, I have a loyal clientele list that always comes back, and some of them will even wait um, for me to get to where I need to get to, just so that I can work on their vehicle. I'm out here in Sacramento. I have customers going all the way down into San Diego, and they will wait and will pay for me to drive from Sacramento all the way down to San Diego, do their service, and pay me back to come back home, because they have no trust in anybody else. So these are the things, as a technician, on how I work my clientele list also, because I'd rather be honest to you than go and try, because I want this pen, and now I'm going to sell you these Tums because I'm going to buy this pen and you're going to pay for it. It doesn't work that way. Not on my book, not on my watch. I'd rather be honest. So we know shops out there, like I said, we got overheads we got to pay for, and you have to be smart about it. Things are really slow in our industry, and it even makes it harder when you have one shop selling you that jug of water, and another shop selling you a battery, and another one selling you that desk, and another one selling you the Tums, and no one can come down to the conclusion that you need a new keyboard. But they sold you all of that, and you went shopping around. All these places sold you all of that, and they all got paid. But the original thing your original complaint was the keyboard problem. So be careful how you do things. And if you don't trust a technician, get a second opinion. And if they can't concur with each other, then you know that someone's trying to rob someone. The math is not adding up. You know someone's trying to take you. And that's all I'm saying. Do your math. Do your homework. Investigate. Because the people who pay and willing to pay for the keyboard, but not for the Tums, the water, and all this other crap, because they already know that the keyboard is malfunctioning. But these shops want to sell them the Tums, the water pitcher, the battery, the desk, and everything else underneath the sun, because they got that overhead they got to pay. So just remember that. Again, if you guys have any questions, Mike, Pacific Tech.